Okay, we got the cameras up and running?
Yep.
Wonderful. Hi, my name is Jim Pescia, and I'm a backyard beekeeper. In fact, I have 2 hives which I keep in my backyard. And today we're here to talk about bees. I hope that you're all in with me. Okay, today's topic is the honeybee. Now when we talk about honeybees, I want to do a little bit of terminology to begin with. We're talking about the difference between a beehive and the colony. The beehive is literally the box that the bees live in. It could be a tree, could be a stump, could be a flower pot, but from a beekeeper standpoint, it's the box. The colony is actually the bees within the box. A colony usually is around 50,000 bees. Can go up to 70 or 80,000 bees on a large colony, but for the most part, around 50,000 bees. The types of bees you can find in a colony, even with 50,000 bees, it boils it down to only 3 types of bees. I cheat, I call them 4 types of bees. But technically speaking, the queen bee is only 1 per colony. Out of 50,000 bees, only 1 queen. She is the largest bee in the colony and the longest lived. She can live up to 3 to 5 years. The drone is the male bee. He is the 2nd largest bee. He cannot sting. He cannot produce honey. He can't feed himself, but he can help mate. The drones make up about 10% of the colony. So out of 50,000, real quick math, that's about 5,000 can be drones. And that means 45,000 are going to be the female worker bees. They get to do raising of the brood, which is the young babies, house cleaning, gathering, cleaning, gardening, guarding. In other words, everything else that needs to be done are done by the females. The life cycle of a bee. It goes through 3 stages. You have the egg, the larva, and then it turns into a pupa, gets enclosed in a cocoon, and emerges finally as an adult. The egg stage lasts for 3 days. The larva stage lasts for 6 days. And in the worker bee, the pupa lasts for 12 days. 3, 6, 12. Grand total, 21 days, and it emerges as a full-grown bee. But the bee is not fully mature upon hatching. It takes approximately 3 weeks for it to gain all of its full functionality. So then it is capable of flying. Otherwise, it's working within the hive, continuing its development. Each type of bee starts out as an egg, and all 3 of them last 3 days. The drone is an unfertilized egg. So he does not have a father, but he has a grandfather. And he can have sons. Figure this one out. Okay. Okay. The difference between a queen and a worker bee, both being fertilized eggs, is their diet. To begin with, all 3 are fed a royal jelly for the first 3 days. Then when it changes into the larva stage, the diet changes. If the workers continue to feed it the royal jelly, it becomes a queen. If not, it gets fed a special diet of what they call bee bread. It's a mix of the royal jelly and the protein, which would be the, not nectar, pollen. Thank you. Went brain dead for a second. The queen takes the least amount of time to mature, but she's the largest bee. Now, each bee has its own job. The queen's job is to lay eggs, up to 2,000 eggs a day, every day. Now, with her laying 2,000 eggs a day, it will cause the colony to grow, but she is not responsible for reproducing a new colony. Her job is just to lay eggs and get the colony to grow. The colony reproduces by division. At a certain point, the colony decides that it has gotten large enough and says it is time to divide. And literally, 1/2 of the worker bees leave the hive with the queen to start a new colony, leaving behind the other half with all the resources of the hive to start a new queen and continue to develop as a second colony. Got that one? Now the drone's job, and it's only one job, is to mate with a queen. Once that hive is split, they develop a new queen. She's a virgin queen and she has to go out and mate. Otherwise, she's incapable of laying eggs. She usually does that within her first week of life. She leaves the hive. It's only one of 2 times that she ever leaves the hive. She will go out and find what they call a drone congregation area. It's where the guys hang out looking for the girls. She will mate with between 20 to 30 males. And during this mating cycle, she will gather all the sperm she'll need for the rest of her life. The bad news for the drone is, once he mates, he dies. So, now, the worker bees get to do everything else. The good old females. And they do it according to their age. It's an age-specific function. They start out, as soon as they leave the cocoon, in housekeeping chores, they have to clean out their own cell that they left. Then they go into nurseries, having to feed the other eggs and progress throughout the thing. After about 3 weeks, they have the ability to fly. Their flight muscles have fully developed, and during the rest of their life, which only is about another 3 weeks, they're out foraging and making honey, feeding the colony and setting aside stores for the winter. The average worker's life is about 45 days. The drones live 1 season. Come fall, when resources, oops. Hi. Okay. Are you on the list?
Yes.
Okay.
Kira.
I got you checked in.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. The average worker bee only lives about 45 days. The drones, 1 season. Comes fall time, when resources are starting to get scarce, the workers toss the males out and tell them, sorry guys, don't need you. You take up too many resources, you're not contributing anything, and they literally throw them out of the hive. Seeing they don't even know how to forage or feed themselves, their future is not very bright. Now, the colony itself is what we consider a superorganism. A superorganism is something that is made up of many components and is dependent on each one. No single component can survive on its own. The queen, as good as she is, does not know how to feed herself. She doesn't know how to clean herself, and she does not leave the hive to go to the bathroom. She is waited on hand and foot by the worker bees. Okay, the drones, as we said, their job is to hang out with other guys looking for the girls. Again, they can't even feed themselves, but they are so important to a colony that they're welcome at any hive that they might visit. Where a worker bee shows up at a neighboring hive, they'll turn around and say, sorry, we don't recognize you, you're not one of ours, no admittance. But if the male shows up, they say, come on in, we'll feed you, now you can go back out and hang out with the guys again. The queen is the mother of the colony. She causes everybody to be happy. She has this wonderful aroma about her that when she is doing her job, the colony just says, oh, we can tell. We're peaceful, we're happy, we're productive, but if something happens to the queen, they lose her scent, the colony gets aggravated, irritable, something's not right. Until a new queen is found or created, the colony is on edge.
Can you tell after a split, like that they have, the queen is left, can you tell by the hive of behaviors of the hive and the bees in the hive once the queen is left on a split?
Yes.
Okay.
Once you get into beekeeping, you can walk up to a colony, and one of the things I always tell people is, when I approach my colony, I approach it from the side or back. I don't like to get in the flight path. You know, you've heard that term beeline? Yes. You get in your path, I'm sorry. Okay. So I always approach it from the side. You listen, you watch, you walk up to it. You do a gentle knock on the side of the hive. Just a tap. But it disturbs the hive just enough. And if it's the queen is good, everything's happy, you get this nice hum.
Unknown caller.
Okay. If things are not right, and if they're not queen right, you'll get this hum. You can tell the difference, literally. Also, they'll come out to inspect and defend the colony more so. So yes, you can tell by sound and action what the condition inside the hive is like. Okay. Okay.
Bees are not aggressive,
For the sound.
Yes.
they're defensive.
Okay. There is some people that will take exception. The comment was bees are defensive, not aggressive. Some people will take offense to that statement because they came across something known as an Africanized bee, which is very, very defensive, to the point that some people would consider it aggressive. Thankfully, I've been doing this for 13, 14 years. I've only come across a super defensive colony once, about a dozen years ago. And my answer to that was, I'm not dealing with it. And I don't want anybody else to deal with it, so I put an end to it. To me, that's the best solution. Okay. An individual bee cannot survive on its own without the colony. A bee can go out, collect pollen, bring it back, but without the colony keeping it warm and everything else, it will die on its own in a short period of time. The queen cannot survive on her own without her entourage that feeds her, grooms her, and tells her where to go. The drones, again, can't feed themselves. So without the colony, but without each one of those, the colony itself would collapse and fail. Now the bees, they're fantastic. They plan ahead. They know what's going on, or what's going to be going on. In the wintertime, and that's way back over here, in January, the colony is at its smallest size. There is no food available. Sources are very scarce, so all they can do is live off of what stores they had set up. So the colony is down to maybe 5,000-10,000 bees in it. The queen will start to sense that the days are getting longer. Summer is coming. And she knows she has to have workers available for that first bloom as it breaks out in springtime. Remember, we said that it takes 3 weeks, 21 days, from an egg to a hatched bee. Another 3 weeks from the time the bee hatches to the time it is capable of flying. When that first spring bloom comes out, she needs to have her workers available to start collecting. So she starts laying eggs almost 6 weeks before the bloom is coming. As you can see, the population will then grow as pollen with our spring blooms take place. Also now, you'll find out that as summertime peaks and the days start getting shorter, the bees notice it. And they'll start to cut back, and she doesn't quite lay as many eggs now. And she's going to start condensing, getting ready for the winter. Meanwhile, the bees themselves are storing like crazy because they need stores to carry them through the winter. And then in the winter, bee populations dip again. So the bees do plan ahead, and they can gauge their activities off of the seasons. Okay, we already covered that. Now, the bees are very, very local. It has been said that the bees can fly up to 3 to 5 miles from their hive. The 5-mile range is probably the outside extreme, them flying downhill with the tailwind in both directions. More likely, bees are going to fly no more than 1 or 2 miles from their hives. They are very local, so on it. From that standpoint, I say beekeeping is the local one. How you keep your bees on your area may be totally different than the way I keep bees in my area because of microclimates and types of plants. If we go down to the coast, their weather is totally different than ours here in the central area, so are their plants. So beekeeping can become localized because of that.
Question, do they take the same flight path? Like, are they more prone to follow the same path, or are they more taking that mile and spreading out and kind of checking out the area?
Okay, the question is the flight path, the 3 to 5 miles that they can fly from home. They do a 360 all the way around the hive. Usually what they do, they send out scout bees initially. And the scout bees will go in any and all directions looking for food sources. Once they find what they are looking for, they'll come back to the hive and tell the foragers what they found, what type it is. They even bring a sample back to share, and in what direction, what distance from the hive. And they use the sun for navigation on that. The bees work all summer to store food for the winter. And they store both nectar and pollen. The nectar, they end up condensing into honey. And once it is capped, it is good for storage. And they said they found honey still viable in the pyramids.
Oh, wow.
So that's thousands of years. It's one of the few foods that can be preserved that long naturally. And it's the only food that man eats made from insects or by insects. Bees relate to the sun. They have built-in GPSs. You asked about them flying around the hive. Whenever they leave the hive, they need to orientate to where the hive is, and they do it off of the sun location, and they do it just for the time of the day and the season, and landmarks around the hive. If I move a hive, and they come out, they go, whoa, wait a minute, something doesn't look right. They do an orientation flight around the hive, learning new landmarks, getting their GPS position from the sun, and then they can go out and forage. But the hive itself is total darkness. Once they come inside, they can't see. They communicate by smell, sound, and vibration. Now, you asked about what they do. They went out, they scouted the area 360, they came back, and now they have to tell their sisters what they found, where it's at, and how far it is, and they do it in the dark. And they do it through what they call the waggle dance. They literally get up there and dance, they wiggle, they share a sample of what they found, tell them how big the resource is, and then if the sisters like the information they found, they'll go out and follow her directions. Interesting thing about honeybees versus other types of pollinators, if a bee comes back and says, I found an orange tree, those bees will only go out and search that orange tree. If there's petunias on the bottom, and it's, nope, they were sent to look for orange. They're very plant specific on that search. Now, if a second bee came back and said, wait a minute, I found pineapple plants over here, they will only go and collect from that source on that assignment. Makes them one of the easiest, best for collecting honey.
What's the difference between this on the honeybee and a different bee, like communication-wise? Because this is very specific on how they communicate to each other and like the time frames.
Okay, the difference between a honeybee and, let's say, the solitary bees and native bees? Very good question. The honeybee does this. Solitary bees, or most of our native bees, are just that, solitary. They live by themselves, not in a colony. So when the solitary bee goes out, it is her and her alone going out collecting what she can find, regardless of the source, feeding herself and then taking it back for her babies. She's not storing for the winter for the colony, because she does not have a colony. That is the biggest difference between solitary bees and the honeybee.
There's only 2 colony bees in all of Florida. They're the only ones who need to communicate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, honey is the prime topic that we want out of the honeybees, or that we collect out of the honeybees. Yes. Honey is created or made by the bees going out and collecting nectar from the sources. they ingest it into a very special stomach within them, called the honey stomach. It is not part of the digestive system, it's a storage system. There, the nectar is combined with enzymes from the bee itself. She returns to the colony, to the hive, and shares that nectar that she brought with the worker bees, which will take them into their stomach, adds more enzymes, takes it over, and then deposits it into a cell in the beeswax. Now this may be done several times, and each time they're doing an evaporation process, getting rid of the water, concentrating it and bringing it down so that it is good for storage and has concentrated sugars in it for their food. After it is evaporated down to a certain point where moisture level is less than 17%, they will then put a wax seal over that cell, and it is now called honey. Prior to that, it was nectar. Okay. And the honey, like I said, can be stored almost indefinitely as long as it's in a sealed container. It only takes about 2 million flowers to make 1 pound of honey. That's a lot of visits. So, an average colony of bees stores honey for the winter. It takes between 30 to 60 pounds of honey for that colony to make it through the winter, depending on the severity of the winter. 60 pounds would be more realistic in the north where they have hard winters. 30 pounds, 40 pounds might be more realistic down here because we do have areas of the season where it's too rainy and the pollen gets washed away. We do have freezes down here in cold spells, and we don't have the blooms like the bees to support them 12 months a year. On a good year, if we leave enough for the bees, there's still enough for us to harvest. And we can harvest between 30 to 50 pounds of honey per hive. That just goes to show you what is capable within that little hive with 1 queen raising all those bees. Okay, that more or less covers on bees. Questions? Yes?
What is the weight of a hive? Like an empty box has its own weight, obviously, because they're made of wood and they're pretty solid. They're not very light when I go looking at them. But by the end of the winter, when you're saying they need 30, 40 pounds, and then there's still an extra 30 or 40 pounds, are you saying the hive is weighing about 100 pounds at the end of the winter?
On a good hive, and we're going to go with the standard Langstroth hive, which is just the industry standard.
10 frame, yeah. One 10 frame box, right? Like that's
Right,
what we're looking at,
okay.
basic.
I'm going to turn around and say the average beehive looks like about a 4-stack box. The first one is what we call a brood chamber. That's where all the queen and all the babies are. The second one could be a secondary brood chamber, summertime expansion. That's when we're going from 10,000 bees to 50,000 bees. And anything above that becomes honey storage. If I go with the Langstroth, we have 3 size boxes. The deep one, which is about 10 inches deep, a medium, which is about 6 inches deep, and a shallow, which is 4 inches deep. The big deep can weigh 80 to 90 pounds per box. The medium, 50 to 60 pounds. The shallows can weigh 30 pounds. An average hive going into winter can weigh in the neighborhood of 300 pounds. It's not unusual. So leaving winter stores before we harvest for ourselves. Yes,
So how do you know that you're leaving enough for the bees? You know, is it by those levels that you
yes,
have?
okay. The question is, how do you know you're leaving enough? Each box, as you can tell, is of standard size. If we go into a standard honey medium, or super, what we call it, it's a 6-inch deep, 10-frame box. And that box weighs approximately 30 pounds, so each bar has about 3 pounds of honey in it. So I can turn around and calculate on an estimate that if I'm leaving one medium box, that's 30 pounds. If I need 60 pounds for up north, I got to leave myself 2 boxes of honey, and anything above that then becomes storage or harvest for me.
Okay,
That answer your question?
yes, I was just, yeah.
Yes, young lady.
The bees eat the honey too.
Okay, could you repeat for me? I have trouble.
She said the bees eat the honey too.
Yes, the bees do eat the honeys also. That's their wintertime food. So yes, they have to have that to consume it so that they can have it ready not only for their winter food, but have it ready to feed the new babies in the springtime as they hatch out. Very good young lady. Okay.
I have another one. Going back to when you were talking about, you know, how certain types of bees are accepted and then the other ones, they're told, go away, you're not welcome here, basically.
Yes.
So when, like, a lot of people will call like a beekeeper to come out if they have some bees. And do you all take those bees? Do they add them to your colony, or how are they welcome somewhere?
Okay, see if I understood it. Once a bee colony splits,
Correct,
they need to find a new home.
right,
And they found it in your tree.
right,
And you want to know what to do with it.
right. Yeah,
Okay, is that the question?
so we'll call you.
Yes. Okay. Individual beekeepers each have their own needs.
Right,
Personally, I only have 2 hives. If my 2 hives are full, I have no room for it.
okay,
That's why I belong to the Volusia County Beekeepers Association. It's a group of other beekeepers, and some of them have 10 hives, 20 hives. One gentleman came in and he says, oh, I'm a commercial beekeeper. I have somewhere between 30 and 40,000 hives. Okay, I'm not that guy. So, yes, because we know there are other beekeepers in the area, and I have contacts down at the club. Let's see if I got, oops, didn't have it here. Usually I throw the bee club information up there as well. We can go down there, you call the agricultural center, they put you in touch with one of the club members, and they have a list of people that have open hives and that will come out and get it. Now, there's limits to what I will do, there's limits to what they can do. Some bees are in a tree, and they just swarmed, and they're just hanging there looking for a new home. That's an easy capture. Others have moved inside the tree, and I may have to call out an arborist to cut the tree down. That's outside my pay grade.
okay,
Other times, they might move into your house,
right,
and they're inside your walls. I need a professional bee remover because that's going to involve construction or destruction. And I would recommend a professional remover on that. So depending on what the situation is, there are organizations available, and we can send you in the right direction.
but are those bees welcome, like when they take them, are they gonna combine them with their
Okay,
colony?
now if we pick up those bees, you want to know if I can put them in an existing colony. More often than not, no, I have to put them into an empty box and start a new colony with them.
With the queen.
With the queen.
Somewhere.
Yeah, because we're hoping we're going to get all the workers and the queen. Yes. No,
You're good. When they swarm, the queen goes with the swarm.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
existing hive is gonna make a new queen for the existing.
okay, we doing good on this so far? Okay,
I asked a lot of questions the first 2 classes. but-
yes.
There are techniques we
Okay,
hives.
we got you, no more questions? Okay,
They grow over.
in that case,
One box sounds
next month, we're talking about the products of the hive. I'm sorry, you guys missed the very beginning when I just told you there's only 3 types of bees in but other than that. Yeah. So, any other questions? If not, now, I do have a special today. If you guys are willing to put up with this, we have a young lady who has done a homeschool project on bees, and she would like the opportunity to show us her work.
We would love to see.
Okay, so if you would like to come up, introduce yourself?
Excellent.
Yes.
That's why we were late.
Now, my hearing is very bad, and I need a deeper tone for me to hear good. That's why you have to talk for me. Okay. Oh, can you get a picture of that, Tommy? Yep. Okay, tell us all about it. Now, I'm going to step back so I can see too.
We can give you a microphone.
Push that side open a little bit.
Oh,
There you go. Great job.
Okay. You want to put it on her collar?
Sure, that was an amazing presentation. Thank you so much.
I don't want to. Can you do
Here, just say
please?
honey, you can do it. Oh, sorry. Push on.
Mama, can you do it?
Here, you can do
No,
it.
can you do it?
Just say, this is my bee poster. Say your name. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can do
I
it.
don't want to.
You can do it. Just say your thing.
I don't want to.
Here.
We can see it. Tell us what you see. What's on this side? What happened over here?
Over here, or?
Is that Mr. Langstreth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he invent modern beekeeping?
He invented the movable hive. Yeah, the one that can take apart and put out the frames.
And he exploited bee space, which is 3/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What else?
And then Isla, what are these? What does that show?
That's when we got our bees, and the frames in the hive.
Are you taking care of this beehive? How cool is that?
Oh, man!
Wow.
Okay, all the way on the bottom on the right, what's that?
Who's in that bee suit?
Oh, that's me.
That's you?
yes.
You're cute in a bee suit, too.
Absolutely.
I do the waggle dance over there.
You did the what over there?
The waggle dance.
Oh, the waggle dance.
You want to explain the waggle dance?
Tell us how you have it
tell us
set up
about
over
it.
here. I see you've got a diagram and everything going on.
Do you have instructions for the
Read it.
language?
Read it. Here, you can read it. Read what you wrote. Isla. You can do it.
Sweet girl, you're doing really good.
They're at the angle at which dance is performed.
Oh. Is that how it starts or is that how it ends?
Where is she?
How they go in the figure eight.
If they walk all the way from the bottom of the frame to the top, that's 750 yards.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And whatever angle they're at is the angle to the sun. It changes every 20 minutes for the rotation of the earth.
Yeah, I just made this
What
thing.
is that?
It spins. It shows like the pupa, yeah.
Ooh. She's not done with it? You know what? Please make sure we're never done, right? There's always work to be done with the bees.
Oh, do you want to tell what we learned here?
There's also the round dance. It's a little different than the waggle dance. It determines that it's closer than the waggle dance because the waggle dance shows that it's farther away, but then this shows that it's like in our yard or something. You're like really, really close or something.
Why would they do that dance instead of the other one?
Because this one means that it would be closer, and that one means that it would be a little farther away. So they go like left. So they go like left, then right, left, then right.
Yeah, you know anything about scout bees?
I think they're in the types of bees, the workers.
Oh yeah,
Scouts
I wrote
go
that.
forage look for a new place to swarm to.
Some of their jobs are the undertaker, the nurse bee, the queen royal attendant, the chief, and the guard bee. And their main job is to forage and make honey. They are about 6 weeks old. They can only live for 6 weeks.
Oldest honey in the world.
They have over here. They found it. I can't.
Tutankhamun is
Oh yeah, in Georgia, and they found the oldest honey in King Tut's tomb.
Very good.
There you go.
And then what are these, Isla?
Oh, the clay tube hives that they used to use in ancient Egypt.
You know they used honey for money.
Interesting, yeah.
And then I also read about the drone bee. They are the only male bees in the hive. Their only purpose is to mate with another queen bee. And then after they mate, they don't make it.
They don't make it. They serve their purpose. That's what we call it, right? They serve their purpose. Their job is done. That's right. Wow.
Do you want to show
really
this
awesome
one here?
job.
Oh,
Yeah, read that one.
Here's a picture of the man of Bicorp with the bees in there. And then I wrote, this is the first picture of people collecting honey from 8,000 years ago in a cave in Spain.
Do you know they still do it exactly the same today?
This shows us that
That's
you
very
really care about the
comprehensive.
bees, and that is
That's
awesome.
much better than the bee movie.
So what are these, the parts of a bee over here?
Oh, I wrote, this one is the compound eye, front leg, this is the middle leg, the back leg, the stinger, these are called the pollen baskets, but the old one is the corbiculi, or then the wing and then the antenna.
What about the eyes?
But yeah, the
The ocell.
the ocell
Well, I'm just going to tell you something really
compound eye.
They have ultraviolet vision, which means they can see water when they go over flowers.
Wait,
You want to tell them about these ones that you learned about?
what? Oh yeah, they have 3 other eyes on the top part of their head.
What do you need all those eyes for?
I don't know. Probably to spot a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
They must play poker.
And a bunch of facts about bees is bees pollinate 35% of the world's food. And to make 1 pound of honey, the bees travel the distance of 2 times around the earth. What's the review?
6 pounds of honey to make 1 pound of wax.
Yeah, is that the part there that talks about honey?
Where?
About honey?
Oh, I wrote, honey never goes bad, and to make 1 pound of honey, bees need to get 2,000 flowers, 2 million flowers. And honey is nature's medicine. I forgot to write a period.
Any fungal,
Um,
bacterial, does all sorts of stuff.
This is so.
And over here I did a couple beekeeping tools, the gloves, the bee brush to brush the bees off of the thing when you're collecting the honey, the smoker, the suit, the top part, and the that thing you use to sometimes the bees shut the things tight into there with comb when they're making it, so sometimes we have to use this to wedge some of them out sometimes. But
So when your hive gets really heavy, what do you do to move it?
I don't think we move it. So, our hive, you just take off the top, and then you can like take off all the frames, and then like you can look at them. But they're starting to move, and we just put the super box on a couple days ago, so now we can start getting honey for us too.
Good. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Here, thank you so much.
Not a problem. Hope you guys come back.
Yes, you definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely want to be back for the next part.
Okay.
My cat ripped it off.
And thank you so much for your presentation. If she's not careful, I'm going to hire her for it. Okay, guys. That kind of wraps it up for today. And our special guest, really great big thank you for that. Okay.